Hey Chibs, how's it going, buddy? How's your experimental series of Doctor Who doing? Are people embracing your unnecessary and forced changes? Are people taking to your weekly political messages? Did you manage to defy their expectations? How's your terribly miscast and, let's be honest, kind of awkward and unpleasant Doctor doing? Is she connecting with the fans? Let's take a look. Last time we looked at Series 11 on Rotten Tomatoes, back on December 12th, the audience score was sitting at a pathetic 42%. Well, it looks like things have changed. It's now sitting at a pathetic 28%. How the hell does this even happen? This is Doctor Who, one of the most loved sci-fi franchises in history. Only 5 years ago, everyone was happily celebrating the show's 50th anniversary. Only 4 years ago, we had a near-perfect actor cast in the role. To some people, this show is a religion. How did we go from that to 28%? Well, in my last video, I actually had to put forth an argument for the reasons why I don't want the Doctor to be a lesbian. That might be your first clue. I hate to be one of the people that says, I told you so, but I told you so. When Jodie Whittaker was cast as the Doctor, I could see where this was going. I desperately hoped I was wrong, and that she and Chibnall would end up wowing us, but man was I wrong. Go back to my videos from 2017 as information slowly started flowing in. It didn't look good, but because Chibnall didn't say anything for months, I was hoping against hope that I was wrong. I kept speculating on how Series 11 would play out, and people kept telling me I was just being an alarmist, that I was talking out of my ass, that speculating on a series before it had aired was moronic. Others accused me of being a woman-hating misogynist, despite the fact that I fully clarified my position in every video I made. The argument I put forth was in a disclaimer that appeared in pretty much every video until the end of the year. My position was that I don't have a problem with the female doctors as long as it's done for the right reasons, as long as it's done in an interesting way that can be properly integrated into the narrative. I do, however, have a major problem if it's being done for ideological reasons, to push misguided social agendas. Well, here we are a year later, and everything that I warned about has come to pass. Actually, what we got was much worse than my worst case scenario. I thought the series would be underwhelming because of Chibnall's inability to write decent Doctor Who, but what I didn't expect was the degree to which identity politics would completely take over the series, and how mind-blowingly horrendous the scripts would end up being. In the period immediately after the casting announcement, I wasn't entirely sure one way or another about whether or not Jodie Whittaker could pull off the Doctor. She had done well in series and movies she had appeared in, but she only seemed capable of pulling off one type of character. I was fully accepting of the fact that she might pull off a brilliant performance. I definitely had my doubts, but what we got was much worse than anything we could have imagined. Setting aside ideology for a minute, it's pretty obvious that she can't pull off the Doctor. Oh, she tries, and we can see her trying in every scene, but there wasn't a single scene in the series where I said, this is the Doctor. It was more, what in the name of hell is she doing? She was all over the place, and as I've repeated over and over again, her facial expressions make it look as though she's always constipated. When stacked up against all actors that have previously played the Doctor, including the War Doctor, all three actors that have portrayed the first Doctor on screen, and Peter Cushing in the Terry Nation films in the 60s, she can't hold a candle to any of them. Even under a competent showrunner without ideology, Whittaker would still be the weak link. Then there's the actress's rather toxic attitude and ideology. I was a bit concerned when she stated she was a feminist in a brief interview posted on the BBC website shortly after the announcement, but I had no idea just how nasty she could be. She doesn't care what anybody thinks about her, nor does she seem to care about the success or future of the show. She outright attacked the classic series when she claimed it, quote, celebrated the white male gaze. And she directly attacked fandom in a video published for Stylist just before Series 11 went to air. What a great way to endear yourself. Every interview she has given since taking the role has one central aim: to decry anything in Doctor Who that was white and male, despite the fact that this demographic makes up a sizable portion of Doctor Who's fanbase. Then we have Doctor Who's other main problem at the moment, Chris Chibnall. I discussed at length the problems with every episode in Series 11, the majority of which were written by him. In short, the plots were lazy, contrived, and or derivative, the dialogue was laughably bad, and the scripts were infested with identity politics. It's almost impossible to comprehend how much he pales in comparison to his two predecessors. Russell T Davies was the best showrunner Doctor Who ever had, bar perhaps the one exception of Philip Hinchcliffe. I encourage you all to conduct the following experiment. Watch any of the 10 atrocities Chibs threw at us, then pick any episode at random from the RTD era. The difference is shocking, and the drop in overall quality is mind-blowing, even if it's one of RTD's lesser regarded stories. Chibs also can't hold a candle to Stephen Moffat. I would suggest conducting the same experiment with Moffat, but stick to episodes from Series 5 and 8, his two brilliant series. Moffat's problem was definitely not a lack of talent. Almost all the best standalone episodes in New Who were penned by him. His problem was a tendency to overcomplicate season arcs, and, well, his last two series. What this rating says is that people don't like this series, but it goes far beyond Rotten Tomatoes. Prior to the airing of Series 11, it seemed as if I was one of the only people online who could see what was going on, and the like-dislike ratio of some of my earlier videos on the subject reflect this. This changed markedly by the midpoint of Series 11, when many people came to realize what they were watching. Many people that were excited about Series 11 in the beginning could no longer live in denial about what they were watching. The tide started to turn against the Chibnall-Whittaker era, and it started to turn fast. Look at the comment section for any video or article on the subject. People were willing to give it a chance, and they hated what they saw, and things aren't going to get much better. Doctor Who will be gone for at least a year, and it will be more of the same when it comes back. And that's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Twitter. And as always, everyone, thank you for watching, and have a great day.